We are here at the Argentine Embassy in New Delhi. I have a privilege to interact with Ambassador, His Excellency, Mr. Daniel Chuburu. So, we have been talking about the strategic relationship between the two countries, the planning between the two countries. I want to find out, do you play cricket?
No, I don't play cricket, but I can tell you that I watch cricket in TV a lot.
But my next following question will be: we envy your football. How can we become a good footballing nation? Can you be the guide to millions of Indian football fans who want to emulate Argentina and come up the ranks? What will be your mantra on that?
Well, first of all, let me tell you that in terms of Argentina, it's a very sportive country. It's not only football. In general terms, all of us are very close to one sport, doesn't matter what. And we have been able to develop a very good standard in terms not only of football, but of basketball, handball, hockey, and many others. We don't play cricket, and the ones that play cricket are awful. So don't, cricket is not our sport. So that's the first base. The second thing is that what happens in Argentina is what happens in India in terms of cricket. For us, football is what cricket is for you. The guy, every guy, since he's can walk, instead of getting a cricket ball or a cricket glove, what they're gonna be doing is just kicking a ball. That's the way, because you go here in Delhi or around India, and in every 2 meter spare 2 meters you have kids playing cricket. Well, the same you find in Argentina, but playing football. So it's part of that development. Anyhow, we are trying to also work out a solution with India, not a solution, a way in which we will very much like to have India very soon in the World Cups. So we have to develop that. Nowadays, there are two Argentinian players in the I League, so we're trying to get through players, coaches, and other fields that interaction with the Indian football players, and we think that it's a question of time, and it's a question of a wish of India to develop the sport, because you have to settle the possibilities for the guys to play. And in this regard, of course, this also goes to part of the diversity of India. There are areas in India in which football is very much developed than in other areas of India, because there are more proximity to that sport. In Bengal, in Tamil Nadu, in Kerala, there are a lot of fans of football. There are pockets in which, well, those pockets are the ones that have to transpire. And of course, there is an institutional development that has to be associated to that, because the confusion that it might come from the different leagues that are in India also don't help for the development of the sport. We need to have, you need to have, or we need to have, all of us, clubs in India, and not only franchise. Franchise, it's just for the sake of the professional sport, but you have to develop clubs in where the kids can go, in which you can contain those kids, in which you can help them develop, and that's the way that finally one day you will come to have a very good football in India, which will happen. Anyhow, that will happen. It's a question of time.
You said it very rightly that sporting culture is very important, and our Prime Minister has taken a lead in his second term about Fit India and Stand Up India, and our sports ministry minister himself, Kiran Rijijuji, and his team at Sports Authority of India are working on Fit India and Stand Up India. Do you think, do you endorse these schemes of the government related with the head of the nation taking interest in Stand Up India, Fit India, Healthy India? And do you think that that will be a good beginning for sporting nation as big as India that could emerge?
Look, I think that the main objective of these policies is much more related to health issues than to sport issues. The question is how you can manage to put them together. And it's not only that you need a guy to be fit for the purpose of having a better health and the influence that that can have in the whole health system, but how do you relate that fitness to the sport? And then, of course, the idea of that for a sport you need to be fit is the one that you have to twist with the other idea of health and fitness. If you go that way and you give the kids the possibility of learning, of developing their sport, that's great. The other factor that you have to take into account is the weather limitations that you might have in some of these areas. Of course, that with the air quality that we are having in Delhi now, it's very difficult to develop a sport like football where you play outdoors. And so I believe that there is an holistic approach that has to be taken so as to develop the sport itself.
If I may ask a small question, that would you be interested to, if given a chance or if requested, to sit with the sports minister of India and give idea about how bringing sports as a community feeling or as a community development project that can also turn into Olympians and turn into international sports persons?
Well, let me tell you that I'm not here to give any kind of lesson to anyone. Or
share your experience, share your knowledge.
That's a different thing, and if it's a question of sharing experience, I'm open to share experience with not only the Minister of Sports, with everyone that wants to know about what we do or what we see of one in these areas. I think that the Minister of Sport is a guy that is prepared to do this, and he's got a team, he's got a whole ministry with him that can look not only on what we do, but what a lot of countries do. The way that, you see, I used to serve in the US, and the development of football in the US, or soccer as they call it, is something that you have to pay some attention.
And it happened within 2 decades or 1.5 decades.
In 2 decades, the guys are playing football. You may say that they are better or worse, but it doesn't matter. They play a little better or a little worse. It is not the point. But what they did was to analyze the culture of the country and how to insert that football in that culture. It's not that you have to follow the same system, because for me, one of the main things that they did to develop football was to put it as a university sport, so you can get your scholarships out of football also, that before it was only restricted to other sports. And that helped a lot some universities to develop that football basis. And once you have that football basis, then you go into a model of professional football. That's one way. You don't have here the same mechanisms, so you have to think in the mechanisms that you need as India, and with the background of the Indian culture, on how to do it. And that may be related to the possibility of having the kids, giving them a ball, and ask them to just kick the whole day the ball. So it's something that you have to, although you can, anyone can share experiences with India, you have to know your own country. That's why I think that the Minister of Sports with his team, they will be very much able to get their own experience, putting together the experiences of different countries in the world and develop the sport in India.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for your time and taking wide range of questions from diplomacy to nuclear to sports to culture to Bollywood and adventure tourism. You have been very kind to us for the interview, and I hope both India and Argentina will find more common ground, because they have a lot more in common than they think they are.
No, it's up to me to thank you for the possibility of sharing all these comments with you and with your audience. So I'm very happy that this happened, and I'm always at your disposal.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
No, thank you.
Download Tarang online radio app from Google Play Store.
You are listening to Tarang Devotional Online Radio.